like that. She said, I love that math vocabulary you use. She said, one is the minute hand and one is the hour hand. How do we know which one is the minute hand and which one is the hour hand?
The minute hand is blue, the hour hand is red.
Oh, very good. She said the minute hand is going to be the one that's blue, and then the hour hand is going to be the one that's red. Very good. And when you guys start working with your own clocks, you'll notice that they're different lengths as well. So your minute hand is always going to be the longer hand, and then your hour hand will be the shorter hand. So when we tell time, we always read our time from left to right. Just like when we read our books, we read from left to right. We also do that with our time, okay? So looking at the clock right now, what time does it show? Talk to me down here on the end.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Very good. What about if I move my hands around like this? What time is it now? Talk to me. It is now 3 o'clock. What if I move my hands around one more time? A full 60 minutes. It is now what time? Talk to me, everybody.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Well, we know when we tell time that hands don't always end up in this position where you have the minute hand straight up on 12 and the hour hand directly on another number. Sometimes when you guys look at your clocks, it may show a time like this. You know what that means? When you have a time that looks like this means that it is half past an hour. It is half past an hour. Talk to me, sweetie. It is what time? Say it again.
34 o'clock.
Okay, she said 34 o'clock. That's interesting. Notice how the hands or the numbers on your clock don't go past 12. So how could it be 34 o'clock if the numbers on the clock don't go past 12? If the hours on the clock don't go past 12, how could it be 34 o'clock? Let's think about that for a second. What are you thinking?
3:30.
You're thinking it's 3:30? Why'd you say 3:30? I think I hear somebody who wants to disagree, but let me get her answer first as to why she said it's 3:30. Why did you say 3:30?
I meant the hour hand when a minute hand is on 6, that means it's 30. And when the hour hand is between 2 numbers, that means something 30.
Something 30? You say something 30 o'clock? Not necessarily o'clock. The only time we're going to say o'clock is when that minute hand is straight up on 12, okay? I heard somebody disagree with her response when she said 3:30. Who was it down here? Okay. Why do you disagree? You don't know why? You don't agree that the time is now 3:30 on this clock? What time is it? If it is not 3:30, what time is it? What time do you think it is?
6:30.
You think it's 6:30? Okay. Tell me why you think it's 6:30. Remember when we first started out, we talked about the difference between the two hands, and we said how the blue hand is your minute hand, and it tells you how many minutes there are in the time, and the red hand is your hour hand, and it tells you how many hours the time shows. So, if your blue hand is your minute hand, if the blue hand is the minute hand, could it be 6:30? Because when we read time, we read from left to right. We say our hours first. And the blue hand is the minute hand. So that means if we're going to read from, just like when we read from left to right, we start with the hours first. We have to start with the hour hand. Remember, the hour hand is the red hand. So your hour is what number? It's 3, okay. And then your minute hand is pointing to the 30, the 6, which means the 30, down at the bottom for the minutes, okay? So what time is it? Start with your hour first. It is 3:30. Very good. Okay. Good job. And I think that's a common mistake that second graders sometimes make. You confuse your hour hand with your minute hand. Remember, always start with the small hand when you're reading the time, then say what time is shown by the long hand. It's hour, then minute. So 3:30. I heard you struggle a little bit when I talked about what hour it is. Was it confusing to you to have this hour hand between two numbers like it is? Because if you look at it, guys, is it pointing directly to the 3? No. Is it pointing directly to the 4? No. So how do we know if this is 3:30 or if it's 4:30? How do we know? How can we figure this out? Talk to me, sweetheart.
Because when the hour hand is not on the 3 or 4, that means the hour hand is almost close to the 2.
You said almost close to the 3? Are you sure it's almost close to the 3? Think about what a clock looks like as it ticks around. It's ticking, it's ticking, it's ticking, it's ticking. Now going back here, we started out at 3 o'clock. And then we looked at this time, which was 3:30. Notice how at 3 o'clock, the hour hand was directly pointing to 3. But at 3:30, it's no longer directly pointing to 3. What is it doing? It's moving. And it's going towards what number?
4.
It's going towards 4. But did it get to 4 yet? No. So that's how we know the hour is still 3. Because technically, the hour hand has not ticked all the way down here directly on the 4 yet. So this time is 3:30 and not 4:30, okay? So think about that when you're determining how to read the time on the clock. Think about that hand moving and then ask yourself, has that hour hand reached the next number yet? If it has not, it is going to be the hour for the hand that it just passed, okay? All right, so let's play around with these clocks that I have for you guys. Now your hands don't move, you're welcome, simultaneously at the same time like my hands or my Judy clock does. Okay, let's talk about some times. Show me, I'll give you an easy one. Let's start out with an easy one. Show me 7 o'clock. Everybody show me 7 o'clock on yours. 7 o'clock. Hold it up once you have it. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Let's see what 7 o'clock looks like. Yours is already on 7. 7 o'clock. Where do you see 7 o'clock? Tell me what you're working with. Okay, what you got down there? 7 o'clock. Okay, remember we talked about which one is the hour hand, which one is the minute hand. Your hour hand is the short one. So your hour hand should be pointing towards the... Your hour hand is the short one. It should be pointing towards the 7. Your minute hand should be on the 12. Very good. So here's what 7 o'clock should look like. Good job, okay? All right, this time show me 9 o'clock. Let me see 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Miss Shealey wants to go to bed at 9 o'clock tonight because she's so sleepy.
You go to bed at 9 o'clock?
At 9 o'clock. Let's see what you got.
I go to bed at 9.
All right, very good. 9 o'clock. Your hour hand is pointing towards the 9, and then your minute hand should be straight up on the
12.
On the 12, because remember we said that 12 means o'clock, right? So we read this as 9 o'clock. Okay, give you a tricky one this time. Show me 11:30.
Oh my God!
What would 11:30 look like? And be careful with your hands. 11:30.
Oh my gosh, it's on the 6.
I see some.
Because I count by 5. I count by 5. And it was 11:30. I count by 5.
Okay, remember, if I say 11:30, our hour in 11:30, the hour is what?
I'm pointing to the 11.
It should be pointing to the 11. Your hour hand should be pointing to the 11. And your hour hand is which one, friends?
The small one.
The short one. So your hour hand should be pointing towards the 11. Oh my bad. should be pointing towards the 11, and then your minute hand should be on the 6, which means 30 minutes have passed by. So it is 11:30 or 11:30. Let's see it, sweetie.
You don't see.
Thank you.
When you don't see the 5 parts, that means you don't know which one. When you count by 5, you get to it.
Yep. So if you end up with a clock that doesn't have numbers around the outer perimeter, this is what he's explaining. That doesn't have numbers around the outer perimeter, you can just count by 5s. Count the minutes by 5.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60.
And we know we don't say it's 11:60 o'clock. We say it's now 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Okay, one more on your clocks. This time, show me what 1:30 looks like. Show me 1:30. Wait a minute, go back to 11:30. I need to check that for a second. I forgot to look at something. Show me again 11:30. You're 11:30. 11:30. Look at your 11:30 and look at Miss Shealey's 11:30 and see if it matches. Is your 11:30?
Yes.
Remember the hour is 11, sweetie. So the hour hand, the short one, should be pointing towards 11. Does your 11:30 match Miss Shealey's 11:30?
Yes.
What do you notice about my hour hand? Where is it? Where's my hour hand?
Pointing in the middle.
It's between which two numbers?
11, 12.
11 and 12. Check your clocks and make sure for 11:30 you did put your hour hand between the 11 and the 12. Okay? It shouldn't be directly on the 11. It should be between 11 and 12.
Should it be too dirty now? 1:30?
The next time I gave you was 1:30. Let's go ahead and make 1:30 and then we'll move on to the next activity. Show me 1:30. 1:30. 1:30. Ooh, I see some good looking clocks. 1:30.
Wait, what?
1:30.
Because it was right here and then we switched it all the time.
Remember what we just talked about with the hour hand?
1:30.
With the hour hand. 1:30.
It's not supposed
Alright,
to point
good.
there. It's supposed to be in the middle.
Friends, what time does her clock say?
1:30.
Is this 1:30?
Yes. No. It's not pointing to.
Remember, the hands move clockwise. Yep, so at 12:30, you have to do it on 12:30. Okay, so I asked you to show me 1:30. Your 1:30 should look like this. And I love the way I see your hour hands between the what and the what?
The 1 and 2.
1 and 2, because remember, it's already ticked past the 1, but it did not get to 2 just yet, okay? All right, good job, guys. I'll take those clocks.
Switch it back to 6.
I'll take those clocks.
I want to have so much fun.
All right, so one more activity before I let you guys go. Let's practice writing and drawing some hands on the clock now, okay?
Yay, this is so easy.
So we have some digital clocks that we're going to look at. And then we're going to make the same time on our analog clock. I have some dry erase markers for you. Dry erase markers for you. And we're just going to write on top of the plastic, okay, guys? You gonna see her? You have one?
Give me that.
All right. So if you take a look at your paper, everybody ready? Your direction shows us that we have a digital clock and it gives us a specific time. What we're going to do is show that same time on the analog clock. Remember, clocks that have a face that looks like this, these are the analog clocks, okay? So the digital time on your first clock shows what time? What time is that? 3:05. How can we show 3:05 on that analog clock? How can we show 3:05, draw the hands for 3:05 on the analog clock, guys? Tell me. We know this is 3 o'clock, right? If this is 3 o'clock, how can we make 3:05? 3:05. We're going to put our minute hand on the 5, and then your hour hand should be pointing to the 3. So for 3:05, it should look just like this.
5, 10, 15.
Check the lengths of your hands too, guys. Look at mine.
Is this supposed to be the
Remember, the short one should be pointing to 3. The long one should be pointing towards the 1 or 05. Good job. And they should not be the same length. You have to distinguish between your hour hand and your minute hand. Looking good. Hold it up. Let me see. Hold it up. Hold it up. Hold it up.
It's fluffy.
It's okay. All right. Good job, second graders. Y'all are super smart. Let's take a look at the next one. The next one shows what time on the digital clock?
4, 10.